Hey, if you want variety in your gaming podcasts and a whole bunch of awesome people having a great time doing it, you can check out the SuperPod Podcast Network at superpodnetwork.com. This is where you can find Remember 64, our video and audio podcast, blogs, and also other shows such as A Novel Console, Fine Time, Gaming and Collecting, Press B to Cancel. You have the 3DO Experience, Retro Wildlands, SuperPod Saga, Pre-Order Bonus, and more. All of these shows are awesome, doing great stuff. Check it out, superpodnetwork.com.
A battle looms over this place. It's a battle for destiny, a battle for glory, a battle for...
Welcome to Remember 64, where this week we're going 3D with our favorite pocket monsters. Hello everyone, and welcome to the show. Hello again if you're a returning listener or viewer, and welcome if this is your first time joining us. Here on Remember 64, we are playing and discussing the good, the bad, the ugly, and of course everything in between throughout the Nintendo 64's library. My name is David Petrangelo, and I am so glad that these two games we're talking about only have the creatures that I recognize, because my old man brain can only hold so much useful information. Yeah, that's right. I said useful, not useless. All I know is that my go-to Bulbasaur is the Gen 1 equivalent of whatever the Gen 2 equivalent is. That one. The equivalent of that one. Jiggy Look Back is here with me again. Jiggy, hello.
Yes. You know, I heard once there was a study that said you can only have 150 meaningful relationships at a time. So even in the first generation, we were one too many. We're just one too many, right? So
Golf clap,
maybe don't
sir.
count the
Golf clap.
evolutions. I don't know.
They pushed us too far, even as children.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they really? Oh, did they ever? Kids these days, oh boy. Okay, and you know what? It's not just the two of us this time, man. We got another guest. This is great. It's super exciting. Been dying to have Eric on from the Unlockables for quite some time. The Kingdom Hearts extraordinaire himself, Eric from the Unlockables. How are you, man?
Dave, Jiggy, I'm doing great. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I love Remember 64. I love the Nintendo 64. I have great fond memories of it. And yeah, this has been long overdue. I know that, Dave, I think you and I last year connected on a episode of Josh from Still Loading's show. I think we did Mario Kart Super Circuit, if I remember correctly.
That's it, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
and
awesome.
that was kind of our first in-face meeting, and ever since then it was like, yeah, I need to come on your guys' show and do something for sure. But yeah, shortly after that, or around that time, I had my first child, and that kind of pushed back literally my entire life. But at a point now where we were able to make it work. So it's awesome to be on here. It's awesome to finally collaborate with you guys, and I'm really excited to talk about one of my most fondest memories from my childhood here.
Yeah, we're talking Pokemon Stadium and the second one as well. So Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. We figured we'd loop them both together because there's a lot of similarities, and why not, right? Different games, but you know, we'll talk about it as we go along. Before we do get into it, though, let's talk about the Unlockables a bit. I mentioned the Kingdom Hearts extraordinaire. Let's chat about that a little bit, because I think as of the day that we're recording, you just released the last or second last episode in a very long string of awesome episodes about that franchise. Let's what's going on there, if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah, so as of today, as of this recording, the episode on the final game that we played in the series, which was Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, came out. And yeah, I started doing a Kingdom Hearts complete series analysis and retrospective on my show, and that is what my show has mostly become known for in this kind of community of podcasters and content creators we have. And I started that mostly out of the, I kind of see the chatter on the internet about the series, whereas people like, first of all, Kingdom Hearts is like my favorite game series of all time. It's a series that I absolutely love to death. And, I am not so naive as to know that it gets a little crazy, gets a little weird sometimes. And I see a lot of that chatter on the internet from people who are mostly on the outside looking in at how crazy the Kingdom Hearts series can get. So my catalyst for creating that mini series within my show was kind of to go through all the games, break them down, break the story down, break down the themes, and kind of analyze and talk about all that stuff, and make kind of like a companion guide for anybody that was like curious to get into the series. Because as everybody knows, Kingdom Hearts infamously, the story gets a little bit dense, a little bit crazy. And all the games kind of tie into each other. So it's really, if you choose to undertake a playing of the Kingdom Hearts series, it's very much something that you don't have to, but I recommend playing all the games in the series and tying them all together. So that was kind of the catalyst of that journey, of that mini series. And yeah, as of today, I wrapped that up. It took me 2 years and 9 months to go through all the games and write all the scripts and record all the episodes. And that was over 47 hours of content across 29 episodes. So yeah,
very impressive.
Yeah, it feels like it feels like it's very very thorough. It is my most complete attempt to just analyze and describe and share the thing that I love most with everybody who chooses to come and engage with it. So that is pretty much.
Wait.
Yes.
Now I need to stop you, and I've got to say, describe the plot to Kingdom Hearts in 20 seconds.
In 20.
I even know that's crazy, and I've only played like the first 2 games.
Literally impossible, because there's plots on top of plots. So it depends on like which one you want. If I was to say like
basic
a simple
synopsis,
basic
elevator
synopsis
pitch.
What's
That's what it's
so
called.
far.
Elevator pitch. Yeah.
Boy from Island gets mystical key sword and fights darkness and the elderly.
And
that's pretty much
the elderly.
Perfect. Yeah,
those are 2 separate things. Interesting.
Yeah.
and
Sometimes
Mickey's
together,
there.
sometimes separately.
Okay.
Disney's there.
Yeah. Mickey's there. He's kind of like a Jedi Master. Goofy's there. Donald's there. Yeah, kids, Final Fantasy characters are there. So,
and if you added like another 10 seconds, could you explain the nobody heartless situation to me? Because I played through 1 and 2, and I still don't really understand.
Yes. So the Heartless is the darkness in a person's heart made manifest. The Nobody is the empty shell of the body that is left behind when a person turns into a Heartless. So, yeah, just because you become a Heartless does not mean that you die. Your body can be left behind and you act like an empty, emotionless husk. And there's some really deep themes around like depression and like accepting yourself and all that kinds of fun stuff that gets brought into that sort of madness. But yeah, don't give me, if you want to make this a Kingdom Hearts episode, we could be here for 4 hours. So just be careful where you're taking us.
Tread lightly, Jiggy. Tread lightly. No, it's just...
Yeah. But
I mean, that is very impressive, man. Like, honestly, and it's great that all of that is part of a franchise and series of games that you love so much. Now, before this, my question, my sort of semi follow-up question is like, had you played all of these before you did this, or were there a couple like blank spots that you filled in sort of as you went?
Yeah, I'd played all of them, with the exception of I didn't finish the mobile games, which had a more of like gotcha element to it, because those spanned like several years of existence. So those were the only real blank spots that I kind of had to go back and fill in. But other than that, every mainline game that's been out, I own all of them on original hardware. I own all of the collections multiple times over, physical, on Steam. So yeah, it's a bit, I've given Square Enix enough of my money.
Because of you're keeping them afloat because some of their games apparently don't do well enough, which is just like, what? Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
they say that you should support the series that you love, and I've certainly supported this one because I want more of them. So
there you go.
Kingdom Hearts 4, it's coming.
Yep.
Hopefully, sometime
it looks dramatically different. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's all right.
We're out of big shoe territory, so that's great.
Yeah,
we're in regular shoe territory. I don't know what that
regular
means.
Regular shoe territory.
Probably symbolic for some reason.
It's a sign of something. It's a sign of something. Whatever it is, it's a sign of something. Yeah. Okay, so that's awesome. Check out the Unlockables. If you're a Kingdom Hearts fan or anywhere close to being a Kingdom Hearts fan, check it out. That's the place to go for sure. And
or not understand Kingdom Hearts,
and to understand.
He passed the test. He gave a great synopsis of it. Can't confirm. So
there you go.
More detail to come.
More detail.
It's a great companion piece if you're, like I said, if you're playing the series through yourself. It's a great
Yeah.
companion piece. Just so like you play the first game, listen to it afterwards. Like it's, at least I think so. I'm patting myself on the back, obviously, but I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, no, you damn well should. Absolutely. You put some hard work into it. You'd pat yourself on the back as much as you want. Okay, so let's talk Pokemon Stadium. Let's talk about either one of these. Eric, I'll let you catch your breath for 2 seconds. Jiggy, what is your experience with Pokemon Stadium? Either one of these going in before the last couple weeks when we said we were going to play this.
100% no experience playing Pokemon Stadium. No. Let me finish. No experience playing Pokemon Stadium by myself. I only played Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
That's still interesting, though. That's still interesting to me.
At a friend's house.
Okay.
And my cat is licking.
Your cat is licking wires right now in the background. Hold on. We both noticed at the same time somehow.
Sorry, that was potentially a dangerous situation. So I just
could have ended up being a Christmas vacation thing where the cat just.
Yeah, I'm like, please no.
Please no. Let's not. No casualties
what
here.
was he saying? I played this at a particular friend's house, and we would just do multiplayer and just battle and pick our Pokemon. And we did a thing where we'd have to, we each picked our team, but we'd have to like cover our eyes when the other person was selecting, so that we couldn't just do cheap type advantages and stuff. And no legendaries. That was a rule. No legendaries, because why?
That makes sense. So, you only did that. Did you guys ever do the transfer pack stuff at all, or was it all just the rental or whatever?
Didn't do the transfer pack stuff, though I had one. Just never did it.
Yeah.
We just I mean,
well, you kind of both need one too, right? Otherwise it's not really fair or quite the same.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of what it is.
Dave, like we've talked about in the past, I had an entire team of Pidgeots.
Yes, that's
what am I going to do with that?
Fly, baby, fly.
That's a great team.
Yeah. You're just never touching the ground. That's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I have I don't know. I think I have a decent amount of experience with this franchise, mostly the first one. I think because that's just what I was playing at the time, and I grew up playing the first gen of Pokemon, and that's pretty much it. I've said this before in the other Pokemon episodes. We played, even talking about Puzzle League when we played it, Jiggy, last year. It was like, I've never played this game before, but I recognize some of the Pokemon, and this is an interesting way of doing it. And to me, this was kind of the same thing. It was like, I get to do battles, and I get to try out my stuff. But pretty much, like, I had one friend, I think, who had the first one, and then I would rent the first one every once in a while. There was only one Game Boy, one transfer pack, one Pokemon game in our house. So it was like, even to sit down and play with my brother was sort of like, it was only the rentals. It was only the, going that way. And we'll talk about this as we go, but it's just like, without those, actual Pokemon, I feel like the draw single player is just not there. There's something about that just doesn't quite work for me. And I think that's my biggest sort of revisiting takeaway of this. I played this time mostly on my Steam Deck because I kind of had to play it. And so I emulated it and had to sort of play it sort of on the couch or in my kids' room or, things like on the go, so to speak. So I didn't do any of the transfer stuff this time, even though I tried to, because what I tried to do is play Pokemon Blue before I booted this game up. And I got 3 gyms in. I was dedicated, guys. I wanted to get as many as I could. I got 3 gyms into the game. I restarted. I picked my Bulbasaur. I got in there and I was like, hey, this is great. It still works. I have my original cartridge in my GBA that I played it in.
Oh,
and
nice.
It has like me and my brother sort of, I don't know, it's hard to see, but I feel like I've shown this before, but it says AP on there, which is my brother's initials in pen. And he rubbed off the fact that I put DP on there and then wrote over it. We sort of fought on whose cartridge.
Wow.
We fought about whose cartridge this was. But who's laughing now? I have it. So, and it still works. The battery is still alive on it somehow. So,
Give it a year.
So what's that?
Yeah.
Give it another year or two.
Yeah, you're running on borrowed time.
I know. I shouldn't have said it. I jinxed it. All right, I'm gonna turn it on now. It's not gonna work. All right, Eric. What about you? Let's actually, before we even do this, because we haven't had you on the show yet, what's your Nintendo 64 experience? How about that?
Ooh.
What was it for you as a kid or as an adult or coming into, these last couple weeks?
Yeah.
What's the story, man?
My Nintendo 64 experience is so weird. It's
Yes.
so bizarre. It's so bizarre. So, it's funny that I'm coming on talking about this game because I remember getting my Nintendo 64 and it was the Pokemon Stadium bundle. So it came with Pokemon
Nice.
Stadium. It came with the transfer pack. So this had to have been a couple years. I mean, this one came out, what, 98, 99?
98.
So
yeah.
so it had to have been like 2 years after the console initially launched. And I was just in the height of Pokemon mania, the Game Boy games, the cards, like literally everything.
Yeah, me too.
So
Me too.
my Nintendo 64 experience was really weird because I know a lot of people initially at launch got, the games that everybody thinks of as synonymous with the 64, like especially like Mario 64. Up until recently, I hadn't played any of the what people would consider like the probably the high tier N64 games. I didn't play Mario 64. I didn't own it. I didn't play Ocarina of Time. I didn't own it. Star Fox 64, GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, like all the games that people think of like when they think of the N64. Didn't own a single one of them. I owned weird shit. I owned Gauntlet Legends, which is like one of my favorite games. I love Gauntlet Legends. Army Men Sarge's Heroes. I think it was the second one. I owned that one.
Yeah, there's like 5 for some reason.
Yeah. So I just owned like a lot of like weird off like the beaten path kind of N64 games and like nothing that was actually made, but like the actual like Nintendo IP. So it was really weird. And I was playing the N64 at the same time as I had like my PS1 and like a Super Nintendo as well. So I was kind of like switching back between and forth between all of them. So yeah, my N64 experience was like super weird. And like everybody would always talk about like how great Mario 64 is and how great Ocarina is. And, these seminal best games of all time. And it wasn't until my late 20s that I played Mario 64 and I played Ocarina of Time for the first time last year. So yeah, my N64 experience is kind of like all over the place, but I have been going back and I've been slowly like filling in some of the gaps. Last year I got the opportunity also to play Wave Race 64,
Yes.
which that game actually like surprised me and that kind of blew me out of the water, like no pun intended.
No, it's intended. That's fine.
And like how like
fine.
beautiful the water graphics were in that game. I was like, what are we looking at? Like
It's
it looks
unreal.
I thought it looked,
It's so
yeah, I thought it
good.
looked incredible. It was so
and it's
cool.
such an early game too, which is just
Yeah.
crazy. So
They had
early
that
in
like
the life cycle.
they had
of
that
the
figured
console.
out like out of the box. I don't know, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I've been going back in and like filling in some of like the marquee N64 games as I've gone back since I've gotten into the podcasting circle. I've like gone back and played like more things that I've missed when I was growing up because I was obsessed with like Pokemon and when things would come out, I would just obsess over them and like miss everything else that came out. So yeah, very weird, very very weird N64 experience. Like Pokemon Stadium and specifically I already mentioned I got the bundle that had the N64 Pokemon Stadium, the controller, and the transfer pack. And I know for a fact that I just ate this game up, specifically the first one. I had the second one too, but I remember I put way more time into the first one. I would import like all my Pokemon. I had like the whole Pokedex like maxed out to level 100 because of the rare candy glitch, obviously. And
I forgot
would
about that. Yeah.
yeah, and so I would just go through like the tournaments and like just destroy everyone. And one of my fondest memories of that is me and one of my best friends at the time. We spent like a whole summer. We got all 151 Pokemon into the Hall of Fame on Pokemon Stadium by going through the gym leader castle. Like he would come over and we would just go through that with different teams until we got every single Pokemon into the Hall of Fame. It was
nice.
It was absolutely nuts. And
Holy.
one of my other favorite things too was, and we'll talk about this as well, is it had the Game Boy Tower that you could play Pokemon on Game Boy on your TV. And if you had progressed far enough in the game, you could get like the little sticker add-ons, like the Doduo sticker that lets you play in like double speed time. And going back now and experiencing the Gen 1 games, like those games are slow as fuck. So being able to play at like double speed back then, super cool. So yeah, I play, I know I played this game to death. I didn't play the second one as much because when Gen 2 came around, I feel like I was kind of petering off of Pokemon a little bit. Like I love Gen 2. It's probably my favorite generation just because of the nostalgia factor. But I was discovering things like shortly after that, I discovered like Final Fantasy 9 and Kingdom Hearts came out. So like my love affair with Square Enix and RPGs kind of started and I kind of petered off Pokemon. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia, a lot of nostalgic love around this game. But going back to play it now is interesting, and I think we'll get into that here in a second.
Yeah, no, let's dive in because I think I'll start a little bit because it's a little bit of what I said. I've had like if you tell me to name more than 5 Gen 2 Pokemon, like and had a and you know
can't even make a full team.
like I can't
Yeah, right.
literally I can't even have 6 Pidgeots worth of mind space to be able to name. Like I honestly I can't. Like when I wrote that little intro thing I said, I had to look up that name. Like I do not know. And I played through Gen 2 completely for the first time. Similar with you with Ocarina was last year, around this time last year.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was actually no, it was a little bit later. Anyway, regard, doesn't matter when it was.
Do you at least know the starters, the Gen 2 starters?
Offhand, no, I don't.
Okay.
I know what they look like.
Wow.
Like I know what they look like, but like if you show me a Gen 2 Pokemon or like a 2 and a 3 or a 2 and a 4, I'd be like, "Oh no, that one's from 2. That one's from 4." Like I could identify that. The names, no chance.
Right.
If you threw a Gen 1 in front of me, I know all of them. And I haven't played a Pokemon game or Gen 1 for 20 years. At least, consistently enough to be able to like refresh my memories. Every once in a while I'd pick up Blue or I'd play Stadium, or it's fine, no problem. But like, man. So all of that being said, because of all of that and my very limited extended universe of Pokemon, not like I've never had a desire to go back to these games because unless I've had my own Pokemon in here, playing it solo, at least to me, I hate to say it, feels kind of boring. It just does. It's just the same thing. Oh, now a commercial's playing in my video. Keeps playing over and over and over again of the same slow sort of battles. And I'm just like, okay, like you said, the first 2 gens, especially 1, they're slow moving games. Like until you get that bike, it's like, holy shit, let's go, buddy. Pick up the pace. Like you got Pokemon to catch and a rival to fight, and let's go, man. Oak needs you to fill out that Pokedex. Come on. This game these games kind of feel that way to me because it's like, I don't need to see, like, it's cool. I think as a kid and not knowing what they really looked like, I think it's a really cool idea to get these Pokemon, put them in a 3D space, and show you what some of these moves look like. I think that's great. It's a great representation of what's been going on for dozens and dozens of hours, of how many times you've played either one of these games, the Game Boy games at the time. Like, I think that's great. And some of them still look pretty cool. Some of them I forgot what they look like and was kind of surprised. I still like that aspect of it. But aside from the visual aspect, I was like, all right, I've done this. I did a couple of the gyms on each of them, played a couple of the minigame things, and I'm like, all right, I got my fill. I've got my Pokemon fill. And somehow, even though Gen 1 and 2 move pretty slowly when you're not battling, I still would rather play the in-between stuff somehow than just the battles. There's something about maneuvering the environments that was enough for me to be like, well, I'd rather actually play the full game than just the battles. And I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing because what do you do in between the battles? Unless you're finding random Pokeballs that have a potion or something, and what are you doing? You're running into random encounters, which kind of suck. That happens so often, especially in the first one. But somehow I wanted to do that over playing these games. I don't know. I'm in a really weird space. So, anyways,
Now I need to blast you for that.
Please
because
do.
The
Please
random
do.
encounters. That's what I lived for. The
random encounters. What is wrong with you?
Oh my gosh, dude! You never knew what you were gonna find.
You're gonna find a fucking Zubat is what you're gonna find, or a rat. Like, that's what you're gonna find.
You don't know
Get out of
that.
the
What if you
cave.
find
You don't wanna be in
something?
the cave.
What if you find something legendary? What if you find a shiny? Like
Not
there
in
were
Gen
so many
1 you're
unknown
not.
variables. Well, I mean,
I'm
I
talking
still
just
didn't know.
these. I'm talking
I mean-
just these two, and more specifically 1 because that's where most of my experience is. But, anyways, continue. Sorry.
and two's better. I will say. I do prefer Gen 2.
It is honestly
Chicory all
the
the
game
way,
itself
in my
is
opinion.
is definitely better. Now that I played it all the way through, like it's better. I just don't have that same, nostalgia for it, and that's it. But random encounters, really? Oh man, you are
I
younger
loved
than me.
random encounters.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was. And you know what? I'm going to say something that is because of me being younger and playing this game as a kid. I would have been somewhere around like the age of 6 or 7
Mm-hmm.
or so when I played this. And the transfer pack, I did not understand how that worked. Okay? And I knew you could connect Pokemon. I knew you could play Pokemon on the TV, and that's what caused a problem for me because I was like, "Oh, I can play my Game Boy game on the TV," and I had a friend that had a Super Game Boy on their Super Nintendo.
Yes, I had one
So
of
I
those too.
assumed
Yeah.
it was the N64 equivalent of the Super Game Boy.
Right.
So I remember just like popping in random Game Boy games, flipping my N64 on and off and be like, why isn't it working? What am I not getting?
That is totally fair, though. That's totally fair.
And the funniest part was I apparently just like gave up on the whole transfer pack situation, but mid trying to do a game. So when I grabbed all my stuff, right, and got my transfer pack, like I found my transfer pack and I pulled it out. It had a Quest for Camelot in it because that was the game I was trying to get on TV because for whatever reason. And then that got randomly thrown onto Switch Online, just like in the Game Boy library.
Yeah,
and I just
yeah.
remembered it as that. I was like, I can finally do it.
That's fun. Yeah, I can finally live out this dream. It's full circle.
My life
that's
is complete. You can die happy now, Jiggy. Now it's
Quest for Camelot.
finally. So what like you have both cartridges, I believe. I think they're in the background
do.
behind you there. Yeah. Did you play both? How did it go? Like did you transfer anything? That's the question.
I did not.
Or did you just try and play
actually.
Camelot again?
Yeah, no success.
No, it didn't work. I don't know why. I still don't
No,
understand.
I kind of did what you did. Played a
Yeah.
little bit of the Gym Castle or whatever, and I honestly do prefer Stadium 2 for a couple reasons. One, the cartridge looks dope as heck, and it's got to be noted because it's like gold and sparkly on one side and silver and sparkly on the other.
Yeah.
which is amazing.
The
I
art's
also
pretty cool
just-
on it too, honestly. Like the box art on both
Yeah.
Yeah,
are
it is.
pretty sweet. Yeah, they look pretty cool.
It is. I do like that they have your. I don't remember if they have it in the second one, but the first one has a little spot to put your name. It says like this.
Oh,
Let me pull it up. real
yeah.
quick. I feel like it's worth it.
Go grab it. Let's go. Show and tell. Come on. I didn't even
And
recognize
I
that
did
about the
not.
first one.
I left it blank purposefully, but yeah, it says like.
oh yeah, it
this,
does.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
mine's somewhere buried. For I
Yeah,
only
this
have the
game
first one.
cartridge belongs
That's
to,
beautiful.
and then put your name on it. And I don't know how I have a copy that doesn't have
It doesn't.
a name on it.
Mine doesn't either, which is why I didn't even think about it because
That's amazing.
I bought I bought a copy off, I don't know where it was, eBay or whatever it was. But
I just love the look
Yeah,
of this.
the
This
The
cartridge
Stadium
is
2
sick.
card is so
that's
cool.
slick,
Yeah.
and it's got to be the only one that's
Definitely
like
a
that
neat
too,
one.
right? Like because even the stickers like shiny
Yeah.
too, like it's cool.
I don't know any other N64 games that are like a half and half. Look,
no,
it's
not,
pretty cool.
not
Pretty
unless
unique.
it's like a repo or
Yeah.
something, right? So,
But
yeah,
I will
so-
say, like, Pokemon Stadium, like, for me, it's all about battling with friends. Like,
Yeah.
and having an online element on Switch Online probably adds quite a bit of value to it, I would think.
right.
I mean, it is essentially, let's just put it in a 3D space and let's see, like, let's watch these epic battles. I mean, that's the draw. And 2 just is automatically better because it does have more Pokemon.
Right.
Like, honestly, that's all you need. Throw Bayleaf in there. Here's a question.
Bailey,
for both
there
of
it
you.
is. That's one of the ones I can recognize.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want the Gen 2 starters, because we never told you, it's Totodile, Chikorita, and oh my gosh, I want to say Cyndaquil. I wanted to say Typhlosion, but I'm like, that's the evolution.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sure.
they were pretty sweet, actually. They were really cool. I think Gen 1 and Gen 2 had equally amazing starters.
They're cool starters. Yeah, I picked Mr.
agreed.
Mr.
Yeah.
Water Dragon dude when I played it. I wanted to pick something different. so-
Alligator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he,
totally,
and
that
he
was
looks
cool, for
cool.
sure.
Like I feel like he looks the coolest out
Yeah.
of the starting 3 at least. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, that's why people
absolutely.
pick Charizard, right? Is because he was like he's fire, he's a dragon. Like I think that's why it was like
That's dope.
Or you can have a turtle with cannons. I mean,
Yeah.
Eventually, yes. Haha.
Eventually.
I picked the leaf. So, come on.
Bulbasaur is underrated for sure. I love
Bulbasaur's the
Bulbasaur.
best. Oh my god, he can use cut.
Yeah, Bulbasaur's pretty cool.
I don't know if any other guys can use cut. I don't think so, right? Cut is huge. It's one of the first HMs you get. It's huge. You gotta have somebody who can use cut early and not have to worry about it.
It's almost as important as fly, which I had 6 Pidgeots.
You can fly 6 times.
Fly in 6 opposite directions.
Yeah.
Sick an army of Pidgeots on you.
Seems like a Gen 1 glitch for sure.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, Eric, how was it? How was it revisiting? How'd you play it? First of all, like how'd that go? Like, what was the dealio?
Yeah, so I have several thoughts. I would like to also throw my hat in the ring for the random encounter thing.
Dive
here.
in. Let's go.
First of all, random encounters were. I know that the tide of opinion has shifted drastically against random encounters in the modern age. But back in the day when I only got like 2 games a year, like I would just grind random encounters all day. Like that was my childhood. It'd be like, oh, Pokemon, just fight random Pokemon, or like even Final Fantasy IX, like the first RPG I ever played was just like I would just spend all day like running around just fighting monsters. Like that's just what you did back
stuff.
then.
Like at least you got something out of it.
That's what you had to do.
Yeah.
As an older gamer, I appreciate it less. And from what Jay said, it sounds like we were about the same age when this stuff kind of all hit the mainstream here. So I have a preference for 1 over 2, and it was only because I have a specific memory about Pokemon Stadium 2 that I was doing the gym leader castle thing where you like go through, you fight all the gym leaders, and there was this event like 3/4 the way through where like Team Rocket attacked you, and one of the Team Rocket grunts had like a Pokemon that like knew explosion, and for whatever reason, like it was a wall that I could not get past. Like every time. Like I like bring like my best team. I'd be like, "Fuck you! I'm bringing Mewtwo. I'm bringing Mew. Like I'm just bringing all the heavy hitters." And I could not beat him. And then like I'd be down to like my Mewtwo, and he'd have 2 Pokemon left, and then he'd just be like, "Oh, explode!" And that would just kill my Mewtwo. So I got really pissed at Pokemon Stadium 2 for like whatever reason. I'll just be like, "I'm gonna go back to Pokemon Stadium 1 because
whatever reason that is a reason. Like that's come on. That's like that sucks. That's bullshit. Like come on.
Older me now could probably build a smarter team around that and just probably handle it with no problem. But younger me was annoyed.
Use fly.
Use fly.
Yeah, exactly.
All you do is you could just recruit a Jiggy.
Yeah, if he flew up in the air, like the guy just would have blown up and killed himself. So like that would be an easy problem, like around the solution around that problem, like literally right there.
Or dig or something.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I remember getting it at the height of Pokemon Mania, and the transfer pack was such like a novel thing because that was kind of something that everyone kind of like dreamed talked about. Be like, oh, it'd be so cool if there's like a Pokemon game on the TV, and to like not have to see the Pokemon on your Game Boy. And so I think the novel thing about Pokemon Stadium around that time was like what you guys were saying was like seeing the Pokemon in 3D. Like that was kind of like a fulfillment of that wish. Yeah. And then you wouldn't get something like that again. I mean, I think you had like the Pokemon Coliseum games on GameCube, but like you wouldn't have like a full like 3D experience of like Pokemon until I think it was Sword and Shield was like the real genesis of Pokemon making the jump like to the big screen in like a meaningful way. So this was really a novel idea. And like, of course, at the time with Pokemania sweeping everybody, like this was a slam dunk idea. Like that there's no way this was not going to not be successful. And they really had the 2 elements that when I look back on that era of Pokemon and what made those games successful in Pokemon Stadium. And one, it was the ability to have your Pokemon that you caught with the transfer pack. And then the multiplayer element with your friends, the battling and the trading. And like that's the 2 pillars that were really the driving force of Pokemon in those early days that kind of predated the internet in a lot of ways. It was talking with your friends on the playground. It was trading on the, on the swings and trading cards and having your friends over for a sleepover and everybody link cabling and battling. Like that was, it was a whole experience. Like it's so hard to like, and I think that's where like a lot of like our nostalgia in Gen 1 is rooted because like now a lot of the younger kids are like Gen 1 fucking sucks and those games are stupid. And you're like, listen here.
There's only 150 or like, 151.
Yeah, like, there's only 150. But they don't understand Yeah, they don't understand like the social phenomena around the games at that time. And
Oh, dude.
I think probably the closest thing that these games that they maybe have experienced would be like the summer that Pokemon Go came out and everybody was just like freaking
Yeah.
That's a
was
good
just
point.
like running around everywhere.
That's a
That
good
was the
point.
closest thing to like what this was like. And so
Yeah.
I think just the ability to like, play with your friends and have the Pokemon from your game made it feel like a really like personal experience.
Yeah.
Playing it now on the Switch Online, both versions you don't have that transfer pack element, and that really strips out like those. Like, it's cool you can battle online with people. That's really novel, but without the personality of like the team that you make, the team of your Pokemon that you handcraft and train and build up, it just feels so like, I don't want to say soulless, but it feels empty a little bit like that. And like half the stuff you need the transfer pack to do. Like, you can't use the lab without the transfer pack. You can't use the Game Boy Tower without the transfer pack. Like,
It's a lot worse in the first one than the second one.
Agreed.
Sure.
And I'm sorry, but as a person, I've played every generation. I've, looked at like, I've dabbled a little bit in like competitive and stuff. Being stuck with the rental Pokemon, a lot of the rental Pokemon are garbage. They're bad. Their movesets are bad.
Very
like their stats are
basic.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
The
like they
move sets
purposely
aren't
picked
great.
the bad moves. They're like you have this amazing Pokemon. Like I'm just throwing out an example. This is not like a real thing, but it's like you have like Moltres, right? A legendary bird, and then it's like it's got Leer or something. And you're like, when am I gonna use Leer as Moltres?
I was gonna say like tackle or something, like,
Like
tail
like
whip.
the one I was going for immediately because I know it's really good in Gen 1. Alakazam was one I was like picking, and like
Psychic.
the moveset on Alakazam fucking it doesn't have Psychic. They do like Confusion, Kinesis, and like two other moves that are just like useless. So you have like this really but like if you go to like Abra, the first form, Abra knows fucking Psychic. So you're just like, what are we doing here?
Why would you get rid of it?
Yeah.
As you went on. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too, right? Is like, it doesn't matter which evolution you pick. They're all level 50. And they all have pre-chosen move sets and stuff. And like that, yeah, you're right. So Soulless for some reason is the first thing that came to mind too when you were talking. But it's like there's the investment isn't there, and I think because you're not embodying the trainer themselves in this, you're just throwing the Pokeballs out. You're just picking the things. You're not embodying anything in this game. So all you really have is what you've worked towards, which is your moveset and your Pokemon, regardless of what level they are when you transfer them. Without that, it's just press A, press, R or down C or whatever and then again, and then do it again, and then do it again. And it's like, okay, sure. I played, another castle. Like, oh, did what's his face just explode over there? Self-destruct?
Indeed.
Voltorb or whatever, whoever is that supposed to be?
Volt.
Oh yeah, Volt. Yeah, they all have names too. Like CC. Look at that.
Yeah, he named them all. I was laughing at the names a minute ago. It was like Volt, CC. Jigglypuff was Jig, which immediately my eyes were drawn to.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
You're in this game.
Wait a second.
You're in this game.
That
You didn't even know
one's
it.
speaking to me.
I think that's the CPU teams though. Yeah, it is. I think unless
Yeah, the CPU teams say they're weird
No.
nicknames. Yeah.
I think I don't know. We're watching like a long play thing of it. It's not anything I played, but yeah. So I think again, I think they're cool. I don't know about any of the mini games if they're really worth sort of digging into. And when they came to Switch Online, I was like, oh, this is a great idea. You can play people online. And I remember trying. This is like at least a year ago when they put them in, maybe even more. They've been on there for a decent amount. I haven't subbed to Switch Online since like early 2024. I kind of just let it lapse, and I don't really miss it that much in this moment. But I'm sure that'll change when the next one comes out. But I was excited for it, and then I hit that same wall that you were just talking about, where it's like, oh, but okay, like, am I better than the other person? I don't know if it really matters, because there's not a whole lot of like extra skill involved, and maybe they just have a really shitty moveset that's what makes me lose. And it's like, well, shit. Like, all right, well, on to the next one, I guess. You know, and I didn't find replaying either of these the last couple weeks to feel that different. I think 2 looks a little cleaner, you know, and I think playing them on Switch Online for what I remember at the time, and Eric, you can tell me otherwise, but they've done a decent job of sort of smoothing out some edges in those games in general on Switch Online. Like I think their emulation of them on the system has been decently done. So yeah, things look a little nicer than probably the one that I emulated is probably what it looks like, very close to what it was if I had the actual cartridge, which is a little bit chunky and muddy, but I think largely the games look okay too. I don't know if you guys felt any different.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
I think it's for a first go around in 3D Pokemon.
Yeah.
I actually think the Pokemon models themselves are really good. The environment's pretty basic, but like the Pokemon themselves look pretty good. And we really didn't get this I guess we did have some on GameCube, right? You were saying Coliseum and stuff.
But that's it, really.
Yeah, but we didn't really get lots of 3D Pokemon until like X and Y.
Yeah.
Certainly not on mobile. And the sprites got wicked.
Yeah. I think I guess actually, never mind. We're missing a huge thing that would have come out just after this, or I guess in between would be Snap. I guess Snap, you saw a lot of these same models.
Snap too,
I forgot about Snap.
Yeah,
great.
Obviously, very different game, but like I'm looking at Electabuzz here. I'm like, oh yeah, where do I know that?
I remember throwing an apple at you.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, I fed you apples. And you went to
go
get your buddies.
What year was Snap? Was that the same year?
I think it was 98 or 99. I'm gonna look that up. Actually, great question.
I wonder if they just use some of the same sprites or some
they
of
look
the same,
exactly
not
the
sprites,
same.
but some of the same models. Yeah,
the Pikachu definitely looks the same.
Yeah, and
For
Electabuzz does too, which is why it clued into me. 99, so it came out almost exactly a year later.
So I'm sure they reuse some of the assets for that. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, if they didn't, that'd be kind of silly.
Extra work. Yeah,
like
I think in terms of playing them on the Switch Online, I thought that the presentation overall, and I thought 2 looked a lot better than 1, because I kind of played them in an afternoon back to back, and I just thought everything about 2's presentation was a lot better. I thought the 3D models were a little cleaner. I thought like all the menus and like the screen where you select your Pokemon, that stuff all looked a lot better. In Pokemon Stadium 1, I was just like, all this looks like something I could make in like Photoshop, and like my graphic design skills aren't like top tier. I'm self-taught. So I feel like they definitely upped the presentation level for the second generation. But I really think they missed an opportunity on the Switch Online, because my thought process would be, if you're going to put out Pokemon Stadium, then on the Game Boy offering for the online, you should put the Pokemon games on there, and then somehow make that work into like, oh, you have save data on the Switch Online for Pokemon, use that in Pokemon Stadium. Like, I feel like that to me is a no-brainer.
100%.
Yeah. Maybe.
Why would they not put Pokemon on Game Boy in the first place?
And just in general, why is Red and Blue not on there? Or is
maybe it's like a technology thing, but I feel like they can make that work. Like,
there's got to be a way to do it. Maybe it's not as simple as we think it is to like transfer that data over, or maybe there would be some weird thing where you have to make sure it's saved on the cloud, which would be fine because you have NSO at that point anyway. So it's like, okay, that should be fine. But like, that would make a huge difference. They would have so many people playing these games, I think, if you could do that.
This would be a different experience too, even like single player and multiplayer, because then you're taking your personal teams to go and fight people online. So I think that's a way more interesting prospect than what it is.
Yeah. I'll say, Jiggy, one of the first things that came to mind playing this, I know it's a completely different game, obviously, but I mentioned Puzzle League before, and one of our the main disappointment that we had in that game was we couldn't understand why it didn't matter what Pokemon you picked, like the elements and all that. Like nothing mattered. You could do fire and water, and it made no difference. At least this next N64 Pokemon game, it mattered.
True.
At least we got that back. It was.
I'm trying to find my soundbite here because it's legendary of the. Oh, here it is. I just love it.
Being selected for this event is such an honor. Well, there's no time to explain everything.
There's no time.
There's no time.
You can't explain it. There's no time.
That intro to that game is amazing. You have lots to do. There's lots to explain, but there's no time to explain. Get going. Like, what? What's that?
All
What?
Professor Oak says.
And then he just...
I wish I could help you, but there's no time.
But there's
Shout out to Professor Oak.
Classic.
What a legend.
Classic. And speaking of sound, I didn't get a chance to record, but actually, maybe I could actually play the sound on here. I want to see if it's going to show up. Can you guys hear that? Come on, announcer. Let's go.
They're staring each other down.
Oh, yeah.
They strike fighting poses.
Fighting
Here's
poses.
a Pokemon thing.
Oh, who is it?
Oh, it's Gengar.
Yeah.
It's burrowed underground again.
Again.
Man.
I think I like the announcer guy. I like this guy. I think it adds something to it.
I wish I could do that for a Pokemon game, but I would change the way I always say Pokemon. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we all say Pokemon.
I would, if I'm naturally like just so, I would probably say Pokemon. Like,
I like when they emphasize it.
It's supposed to be Pokemon. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Who is that Pokemon?
Yeah.
You know, it's
That's
like
how
they
this
really
guy says
emphasize
it, yeah.
the K.
Yeah.
I just love it. It's
Well, it's
amazing.
got the little accent on it. That's why. That's.
I think I shorthand to Pokemon, but I think people tell me I have a little bit of like that, like Midwest Chicagoan like drawl a little bit. So that's probably just that.
Could be that. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that would have all of us.
We all have something. Yeah, I'm
better
sure I
with
have
you.
a Canadian accent that I have no idea exists. I'm sure everybody hears it.
Would you say you have no idea about it?
I don't know
About
any
it?
about it, eh? I can't hear it. I have too much maple syrup in my mouth. I don't know. I can't hear it while I'm in the igloo. It's good. I like it. There's some repetitive things as you're going to get with any game like this, but it adds a little element that you don't get otherwise. Again, the 3D part is obviously the big draw here, but at least you're getting a couple of things. You know, you got music going the whole time. At least that guy's sort of commenting, and he's not just saying a lot of generic things, because sometimes there's, he actually says what the move is. He'll say the name of the actual Pokemon. Like, those things, I think, are an added bonus here to just sort of picking random, you know, just playing any other Pokemon game that would be on here. So, and I don't believe that there's that minimal voiceover or like intro video in Puzzle League. I don't think that there's any voiceover in Snap. So I think you're pretty much getting the gist of the sort of, you know, voiceover at least. I mean, music is in all of them, but like getting a lot of that here, which again, you got to put a lot of stuff on this cartridge. I thought they did okay with that. So it's something. It's not the best thing.
I
ever, but
wonder.
it's something.
I wonder if looking back, because my stupid little kid brain would have just been like, Pokemon, like amazing, like no matter what it is, you know.
Sure.
But I wonder how many people may have been disappointed that this wasn't a fully fledged like 3D Pokemon outing, like the handheld.
right.
You know, I can't help but feel like if this released, and I was like how I am now, I'd have been like, why didn't they just make it like the Game Boy games, but like in a full 3D environment? Like, it's cool, but it almost makes this game like assuming it was a full priced release as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, I'm thinking in terms of that, I'm just like, it feels more like an accessory and you need to have the Game Boy game rather than a standalone title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which for me brings it down. Like it's got cool elements and stuff and it's not bad, but it's just like, you have to keep that in mind. And especially at the time, like you needed those things. You needed a Game Boy game. You needed the transfer pack. I don't know. Did they all come with the transfer pack? Like Pokemon Stadium 1? I'm sure you could buy the cartridge separately.
I didn't own it, so I'm not sure. I doubt they all came with it. The only, this is actually really funny. Actually, I should have messaged you guys this when I saw it last week. I went to one of the used game stores, or one of the very few that are in my area, and they had 3. I don't know how they got 3, but 3 sealed with the transfer pack game of the first Pokemon Stadium.
Ooh.
Like, you know.
It's like a big box.
Yeah, it was the big box, but like, you know,
box.
like stupid price, right? Like I think it was a few $100 or something stupid like that. Like these places will charge. But I was like, oh yeah, this came with, like, I forgot that it could have come with the transfer pack. For some reason in my mind, before I saw this on the shelf, I was like, oh, I could picture this number 2, but I could not picture that one. I don't know. I had a transfer pack and my friend did, but he also had the game. I have no idea if he bought them together or whatever. I assume he would, but yeah. Sorry, Eric, you're gonna say?
Yeah, so I'm just doing some background research. You guys are saying some stuff. So there is an inbox version that came with the transfer pack. So it was game and transfer pack.
Yeah.
There's one on eBay right now that's authenticated and factory sealed, going for $1,150.
Oh boy.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, the one I saw was, I think, 4 something. which is our enough. I was like, no. Also, like, the whole point is, like, to have that transfer pack, you got to open it. Whatever. That's just the state of these collection things at this point. So, yeah.
And I was also looking at the announcer. So the announcer was a voice actor, American voice actor named Ted Lewis.
Okay.
He was also the announcer in the anime, and he voices tons of characters in the anime. Like,
of course,
he's voiced like major characters, minor characters. He's voiced like Pokemon. So that's actually kind of a cool little tie in there. I didn't know that, because I always knew that the announcer voice sounded like the one from the anime, at least in my memory. So I was just like, I have to look that up real quick. So Ted Lewis, shout out.
Nice.
Legend.
All right. Way to go, Teddy. The other thing too is when you were mentioning the like maybe being disappointed with this, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a thought I had, like, for sure at that time. Thinking, great, maybe I didn't see a commercial, or I didn't see it in a magazine ad or something, so I wouldn't have known the difference, or maybe it didn't really tell you and it just showed you what the battles look like. That's kind of a thing that they would do with, like, a print out on like a one page on Nintendo Power or GamePro or something like that. What I did find, though, when I was looking up some of the development stuff with this, is, like a lot of early-ish games in the first, like, 2.5 years of this console, was that it was supposed to be a 64DD game, which would have given it more memory, which is possible that at that time, that's potentially what they wanted to do. It doesn't say that explicitly when I looked it up, but it did say that was the plan, was to make it that. So, like, even if they did do that, I would be surprised if it's just as long. If it's like a 30-hour game, I doubt that's what it would have reached. But maybe it would have been a 3 or 4 gym thing, or a 2 gym thing, and then you play the league or whatever. I keep forgetting the name. Maybe, but they would have had to make sure they found a way to at least get all the Pokemon in there, at least for the first one. Like, would have found a way. But that was scrapped, just like every other thing that was 64DD plans, right? It was never gonna be that. So I thought that was
I have an add-on part to that if you're interested, because I went down a weird rabbit hole with YouTube videos and stuff.
Yes,
and
please.
So yeah, the 64DD thing, 100% accurate, and then it got turned into a game, and this was actually a Japan exclusive game first. It was called Pocket Monsters Stadium.
Yes, right.
And the original game only had like 50 Pokemon in it, because they were trying to develop it with that DD technology for the more memory. And then they're just like, oh, this isn't working, so like let's just slap the most like popular 50 Pokemon in there, call it a day, and release it. So the first version that Japan got was like a severely limited version of a game that I think their intention was to like have it be used for like official like Nintendo Pokemon tournaments that they were having at the time.
Oh, sure.
And then when it came over to United States, it was like the full working 150 called Pokemon Stadium. And then that version in Japan was actually Pocket Monster Stadium 2. So 1 here was actually 2 over in Japan, because they had that first kind of,
I remember hearing that
prototype.
Yeah.
It's really, really strange. But I just thought that was kind of cool. And
what's interesting about that too is very often it's the opposite, right? We get sort of the not lesser than, but we'll get it later,
Right.
and it's not going to have the same features, or they get 2 like the Japanese market, at least at that time, will get a couple before you even get 1. Final Fantasy is a perfect example of something like that, like in the 90s, like
3 versus 6,
3 is 6, stuff like that, right? Like those types of things. And maybe it's the exact same game, but like it's a weird sort of thing between the markets and the Japanese side of Nintendo and stuff. And obviously I think Sega ran into a bunch of those problems too, but that was a whole other reason. Like they just basically feuded with each other constantly, even though it was the same company.
True.
Yeah, I think like I think doing more with this would be cool, but I do get at the time that this is what they wanted to do. The other thing I did see too with this whole, the background of it too was that part of the idea of, I don't have the name. I should have written down the name of the CEO of Nintendo at the time. They were thinking that this would be, with the transfer pack thing, that you could sort of play this game almost on the go. But I guess that's kind of what like the link cable ended up being and stuff too. Like it was going to be a little bit more of a mobile experience, like Stadium specifically. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I thought, yeah, but that's just really what the transfer pack or the transfer cable or whatever was for Game Boy. But I guess in 3D would have been kind of cool to kind of be able to find a way to do that. But then you also have to have the handheld that's able to do that. And like, it's a whole other thing. So they had ideas already at the time. It was just a matter of how do you implement this and do so much at once. And the 64 is already a huge step forward in technology and things like that. So, it's cool. It's small, like early iterations of things that we kind of take for granted at this point now, I would say. Just being able to play these games on Switch Online is already to be like, oh shit, look at that. It seems like a nothing. We have a couple notes that we would add to it and like how they could improve it, but like you could play this online. That's pretty sweet. At least there's an opportunity to do that. So, I don't know if a lot of people play it now though, because they could just play the new Pokemon game instead of.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. The new Pokemon game isn't that dramatically. I mean,
is it not good? I don't know.
Different.
It's okay.
No, it's fine.
Okay, I guess there's more.
I played all of them.
Yeah,
I get them all. I play them all. And I just don't feel like the leaps are really there. They always feel like behind somehow. And this almost feels like way ahead of anything they did for like 10 years, 15 years. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I think there's a genius to having Pokemon, whether it's intentional or not, to having Pokemon be on handhelds. I think that like if it was a home console thing from the beginning, or like largely a home console thing, and until you had the Switch, you'd have to play it on your couch. I think being able to take it everywhere, whether you could transfer Pokemon or not, or battle or not, I think that's a huge reason why it's so successful. But with that, like you just said, one of the big reasons, or one of the things that refreshed it, was a game like this, and it was 3D and sitting on your couch. So it's like, where's that middle ground? I guess the new ones are kind of the middle ground of that, but I also haven't played them, so I'm just assuming that's the case.
Play Legends of Arceus or Arceus or Arceus. I actually don't know how to pronounce it.
I actually don't know. Yeah.
That I really enjoyed that one. It's a different format, but still feels like traditional Pokemon. In my mind, the simple adjustments that they made to the formula of like, first you get to explore everywhere, which is really cool. You catch Pokemon by just chucking a bunch of Pokeballs at them, which is amazing.
Right.
And they have variations in the size of the Pokemon. So like, you can get alpha versions of Pokemon, which are basically just giant versions. Like they're really big. So you get like a Scyther and he's like this big on the screen, and then an alpha Scyther would be like this big.
Yeah.
And they're like dramatically different. And then to like hunt for shinies, and then to find shiny alpha variants adds just like another depth of like exploration and grinding. That's really cool to me.
Like a good incentive.
And I'm very excited about the new Pokemon Legends game. I think that's a really cool direction to take, and I think Legends of Arceus was way better than Scarlet and Violet, in my opinion. I feel like Scarlet and Violet took elements from Legends trying to improve the formula, and it didn't do as good. But
I
that's my 2 cents.
I 100%. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think Legends Arceus is like the most bold departure they've had, and it's still not even that much of a departure. Like it's not nothing that groundbreaking. Like they're just tweaking some things about the generic formula. But yeah, I agree. I thought that was better. And like Scarlet and Violet, there's some performance stuff there. It's got the bones of a Pokemon game. Like you know what you're getting. This experience, specifically like going back to Stadium, is fascinating because it feels like it's so dependent on the transfer pack technology. And I don't really feel like any other Nintendo 64 game really fully utilizes it to the extent that Stadium did. I mean, like there are some I like know Mario and Golf and Mario Tennis had transfer pack elements because there were Game Boy versions of those games, and I think Perfect Dark had a transfer pack element to it as well. But those are just like
Yeah, I don't know what it
unlocked.
did,
Like
but
this
yeah.
is like unlocked extra things, I
Yeah.
think, or and stuff
I'm
like
trying
that.
to
where it's
remember
like,
if it actually had it or if it was canceled. I know it wanted to work with like the Game Boy camera. Like there was like a plan to work
Oh,
with the Game Boy
interesting.
camera where it could like take a picture of you and then put your face on like the model
The
of the
model.
enemies
Yeah.
right.
or whatever.
That's
I
interesting.
I don't remember if it was implemented, but there is a Game Boy version of Perfect Dark, so
I have
probably
it.
That's
It's
also
It's
interesting.
got a rumble pack, man. It's like it's like
Yeah.
Pokemon
Yeah,
Pinball,
yeah.
which is also an
That's
amazing
wild.
game.
Mickey Speedway. Mickey
Mickey
Speedway
Speedway
used
too,
the
yep.
transfer pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
the one we've talked about this because I love the golf games. The golf one is very similar to this. I mean, I think you get more out of it with this. Like it improves this game dramatically. Pokemon Stadium, if you're transferring your Pokemon into it. With golf and tennis, you just put your character into it. Like it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You don't level them up like you would in the actual Game Boy game and stuff. It's really just like, oh, it's another character you could pick, which is cool. But those characters are not, canon Nintendo characters. They're just generic
Right.
Dave that, happens to be the only person in the game that golfs left because I'm weird like that. That's how I golf. I can't.
Yeah, I feel like there's missed opportunity with that technology there.
I think you're right. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I don't know if Jiggy, you were saying that earlier, where it was like, if it was a thing where like you could just strap the pack on the back of your N64 controller and play any Game Boy game on the TV through the Nintendo 64, that would feel like, I mean, that way you don't have to force everybody to be like, you have to make a Game Boy tie-in with your N64 game that you can use the transfer pack. Then it has some additional use outside of that. And that seems doable because the Game Boy Tower elements of Stadium 1 and 2 were just it was just a Game Boy emulator that ran your cartridge through the transfer pack. So they could have just made the Game Boy emulator technology and I assume like built that into the N64 and just had the transfer pack. And maybe I'm not a very smart technological guy, but to me that makes sense in my like tiny brain. So they could have figured
Don't worry,
it out.
it makes sense in my tiny brain as well.
They were doing some crazy shit.
Our tiny
at
brains
Nintendo. Like,
together
I'm
all
sure
equal one normal brain, and we're all thinking the
Yes.
same thing. It's okay.
Yes.
they were doing some crazy shit. I'm sure they could have figured it out at Nintendo. Like
Yeah.
like Satoru Iwata figured out how to get like the Gen 1 entirety of Gen 1 onto the Pokemon Silver cart and Gold cart. So it's like they could have figured this shit out.
Yeah.
And that would have been an amazing, like the Game Boy was still going strong. That would have been an amazing like additional use of the transfer
And
pack. But
this Game Boy Color came out right pretty much as this game came out, or very within months of this game. Like now you have these games in quote unquote color, and like it would have been great. Any game, like it doesn't matter what game. It doesn't have to be a Pokemon game, right? I have so many Game Boy Color games. I would have loved to play some of these, like a racing game, like if it was Mickey Speedway or something like that. Like I have a couple of Tony Hawk games, which are so strange. Like that'd be cool to play on a slightly bigger screen. Was my TV big at the time? No, it was probably like literally like 16 inches or something. Like it was nothing.
Right.
It was nothing.
I'm trying to think if there's a game like outside of like Guitar Hero or Dance Dance Revolution or things of that nature that was so dependent on like an outside like peripheral. like this like Pokemon. I can't think of one off the top of my head besides like
right
rhythm
behind
games,
me
but...
is it might be hard Mario Paint.
Mario Paint.
Without without the mouse, you literally can't play that game. Or I think there's a couple of things. I think you could use the controller for like the music thing, and maybe the actual paint thing, the actual like paint game mini game part of it. I think that's it. But like, you're not playing the same game. You're not experiencing.
So if we can use the Switch 2 Joy-Cons as the mouse, we could get Mario Paint on the Switch Online.
Yep.
Ah,
the new Switch. I would be. I when I saw that was something that they might be doing, like when they showed that could be a thing, and I didn't catch it when I watched that really brief sort of.
It was like that Wolf on Wall Street meme with like the beer, and he's like,
yeah,
kind of like
Mario Paint.
I was thinking. No, that's Hollywood.
By the way, Wii Fit.
What's it
Wii
called?
Fit.
Wii Fit
the
2.
Board.
Yeah,
It's a good peripheral.
Yeah, Wii Fit 2 is a good one. If they make another Mario Paint, oof. I'm not going to rush to get a Switch 2, but if they make a Mario Paint, I might have to push some kids out of the way, man.
Stellar.
That's the killer app for you, huh?
Dude, it's crazy. I've talked about it before. I think Mario Paint is one of the most innovative things they've ever done. Like, especially at that time. Who the fuck thinks about adding a mouse to a console like that? Like, I know it's just a mouse, but like, I don't know, man. It's like, and sadly, it's like the only game that used it, which is a little silly. But
you're talking to the Kingdom Hearts guy. It's not
Sure.
just a mouse.
No. Yeah. There's certainly crazy things that have happened.
It's the king.
Yeah, Nintendo was on some crazy shit in the 80s and 90s. So I mean, they wouldn't like a mouse seems like one of their more tamer ideas.
I think it's a very innovative idea. I think at the time when computers were already very minimal, so to be familiar enough with a mouse to be like, let's make a whole game about this in 1993, I think it came out. Like that is something. And I don't know, Switch 2 will probably have a bunch of, ideas, which I hope they take advantage of Pokemon. They take advantage of Mario Paint, like, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think there's opportunity there, even though hardware wise, I'm sure it's always going to be a step, quote unquote, step behind the other consoles, but Switch did well enough. I don't think they really care.
I just need the Switch 2 Joy-Cons to not drift, and I will be happy.
I was lucky enough. I have a launch Switch. I have the original Joy-Cons and I have one other set. I never ran into it with mine. I got lucky.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah,
every pair I bought drifted within 6 months.
Really? Yeah.
I'm very salty about it. I've bought like 4 pairs of Joy-Cons.
I currently only have my OLED pair.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I might have an extra pair. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I never use them anyways because they're tiny. I do not have big hands, but they're tiny to me, so I can't imagine maybe like for a normal person.
I have pretty small-ish average size. And
I'm my hands are very average size, and yes, I have to hold them like this. Yeah. And they still
carpal tunnel requires my hands to look like claws.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's brutal.
The little buttons.
What's crazy is I feel the exact same way about the way that the Joy-Cons feel like in handheld and stuff like that. And yet, and I think it's just because of the game itself, I still put 40-something hours, 50-something hours, it's probably even more, probably double that, of Hades on Switch. And I played it.
It's a great game.
90% handheld. 90% handheld, because at the time I was commuting and it was just like this, and I just could not stop playing that game. It's one of the best games ever made in my opinion.
Handheld too.
What's that?
Agreed. I'm right there with you. I said that's a perfect handheld game, and I agree 100%. It's one of the best games ever made for sure.
Yeah, 2 is so good already. It's so good already.
I'm waiting for it to come out of early access.
Yeah, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker. I got it right away.
I'm jealous. I'm like watching people through the window in the rain.
Yeah,
check it out. I'm like, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
I'll tell you. I'll say this right now, and then we'll stop talking about Hades. The second one is already just as big, if not bigger, than the first one already, and it's been in early access for maybe 6 months. As of us sitting here at the site, like it was like that from the beginning. It's insane. It's insane, and it's just different enough the way that it controls and what the character does. That is, in my opinion, right now, 100% worth playing. So,
okay,
yeah, it's awesome. Anyways, Pokemon Stadium, everybody, pretty good. If you got a chance to get the whole shebang thing with the transfer packet, I think you're really going to get a lot more out of it. If you've never played Snap, for example, this is a cool way to see a lot of these models for the first time in 3D, in this type of 3D at least. And it's just, it's interesting. It's cool that they did this. Fun that we got to revisit it, I think, still. But I think we're all kind of sort of on the same wavelength here, where it's like without that extra investment from the transfer pack, it feels like it's just, I don't know, it feels like a very much like press A to continue. I don't know.
It's a product of its time.
Sure.
And it is one of those games that I think actually, if you went back and you are a collector and you had a transfer pack, an old Game Boy cart with a team. Like, that's how you get the full experience out of this game. You can play it on Switch online and get kind of a feel for it and see what it's like and kind of test the waters. But if you really like, if you're super into it, if you're like, oh my gosh, Pokemon Stadium, this is it, definitely go back and get the actual game and the actual hardware, and you'll have a much more complete experience. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it would be worth it, honestly, as long as it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. I think it would be worth it. You know,
Pokemon Stadium 2 is kind of expensive though. Not
is
gonna
it?
lie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because the cart looks cooler, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a
No.
later game too, right? So like that always adds to it. There's probably just less of them. Would be
Yeah,
I
my
think
guess.
it's like 2,000.
Yeah.
The first one is like somewhere probably in like the $50 range, and then US dollars, freedom dollars, because it's Canadian. And then Pokemon Stadium 2 is probably closer to like the $110 range.
Ooh.
So it's
Oh,
yeah, it's a bit
Ouch.
more
I'm
expensive.
gonna
You might
check
be able
now.
you might be able to find it cheaper, but
Yeah.
that was kind of what
That's hard.
I saw when I was looking it up a while back.
Absolutely. No, yeah, I agree with both you guys. I think it is very much a product of its time. Like a lot of Gen 1 stuff I've gone back and experienced lately, I think if you weren't alive for that time period, I can see how if you're like a younger 20 something and you're like going back to check out retro games, how you could see that, yeah, these games aren't really that great if you can't play them on the hardware or in the time period that they happened.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like such a large investment to like be like, hey, if you really want the better experience of this, get an N64, get a cart, get a transfer pack, and get a Game Boy game. I don't know how many people outside of collectors are actually going to go for that sort of thing. But I do feel like and this is something I've experienced with a lot of N64 games. A lot of the N64 experiences play better on their native hardware, I feel like. I played Mario 64 on the 3D All-Stars collection and on the N64, and the N64 experience is just such a better experience on the actual hardware. Same thing with Ocarina. I've gotten a chance to play a little bit of Ocarina, and I just feel like there's no comparison between playing that on modern hardware and playing. So a lot of the N64 experiences are designed very well specifically for the N64, and I feel like this falls in that category. It's better if you're in that time period with that hardware, but now, yeah, it's kind of rough if you don't have that.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a lot of reason why the 64 has been notorious for being pretty rough in emulation, like just if you're not Switch Online. So that definitely rings true. I looked up,
Even if you are Switch Online.
even if
Yeah.
some- it's not
GoldenEye's not great Switch Online.
No, I at the time I remember when we did our episode on it was right when those came out, those re-releases came out. You're using dual sticks, or you're sort of using dual sticks on Xbox. It was actually okay. It was actually okay on Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
That's
actually all right. Because at the time I think I just didn't have the Switch on me or something like that. I played on it was good. I played all the way through it. It feels different, looks different, but playing it with the joystick, playing with the 64, it's the way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get out of here, I just wanted to double check. I was checking what the prices are here. Okay, so if you want to get at least the prices that show up for me, $140 for two, for just the cartridge of Stadium 2, which is just like you said, G, $150, something like that. And one is around the $50 range, it looks like, without anyone's name written on it too, which is nice. Like an added, it's almost like an added bonus. Allegedly, according to this
they would
picture.
use that as the picture.
Yeah, that's true. But and I've done this a couple times. I have a couple of Japanese games that don't really require you to read anything. Maybe with this game, maybe you do if you don't know what the moves are and
This
stuff.
game is all about reading stuff,
But-
bro. You don't know any of the moves otherwise.
But you can play around a little bit. But if you want all three, Japanese versions of Pokemon Stadium-like,
Interesting.
it's around 100 to 120, at least in Canadian dollars, so around $100 US for all three. This particular listing that I'm looking up, these two listings that I'm looking up, also have the box. So
Jeez.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. And you can get the little sort of, like, I think they just work on your hardware, right? So, and a lot of the art on the Japanese games are pretty sweet. Like if you'd like a nice looking box.
Usually
like
better, yeah.
I have the Mario Golf one behind me where it's just like basically the shadow of Mario golfing. And like, that's the thing. Like, I love that. It's so simple. It's got the different form factor too. It looks like, like more modern games, more vertical style. So anyways, that's that. So check it out if you can, but like you guys said, it's an investment. It's an investment. So it's a little tough
Looks like
sometimes.
transfer packs are only $10 to $12 on eBay, so transfer packs aren't too bad.
That's pretty good. That's surprising.
bad.
Surprising. Not like the expansion packs, which are like fucking like $80 and shit like that. It's crazy.
Oh,
they're so
I
expensive.
did not know that.
Yeah, they're so expensive because
Yikes.
I think they were limited, pretty limited in their availability and stuff. So, and at first only with Donkey Kong, I believe at the time.
Wow.
At first, at the very first initial release, anyway. Okay, Eric, before we get out of here, one more time, where can everybody find Unlockables? And at least as of this recording, do we know what's up next? Or are we going back to Kingdom Hearts 1?
No. As of this recording, we're going to be done with, I think, Kingdom Hearts and Square Enix for a while. I need a little bit of a break. I need to maybe go back to some regular gaming things. No, I don't really have a plan for what's next past that. I'm gonna be taking a little bit of a break while I maybe script some stuff or figure out some episodes.
Nice.
So yeah, more news on that in the future. I am doing some other things. I've been posting some more short form content and chopped up videos, just some other things, some random stuff I've been talking about, trying my hand at other social media things. If you want to follow any of those endeavors, all the stuff can be found on my Linktree, linktr.ee/unlockables podcast. That's my Instagram. That's my Discord server if you want to hop in there. I will admit my Discord server's more dead than most people's. I mostly just use it for announcements related to my show. And then I am in any number of other Discord servers inside of our little podcasting community here. SuperPod Saga is one that comes to mind for sure. I'm in there. But yeah, the Linktree has all that stuff. Instagram. I'm not on Twitter anymore, thank God. And my mental health. My mental health is much better for that. So I believe
I'm still there.
You are. God bless you, sir. You are a brave man. I think my Blue Sky link has replaced my Twitter link, and then it's just got the podcatchers wherever the show can be found. There's mostly Kingdom Hearts stuff on there. There's 29 episodes of Kingdom Hearts, but I have talked about other stuff before. I've written,
of course,
short little essays. I did an essay on Suikoden 2. I did an essay on the importance to Advance Wars for Nintendo. So just I talk about stuff that I like. I have some interviews with content creators on there, so they're bound to be something that kind of tickles your fancy on there. But be warned, it is mostly Nomura bullshit that you will get on my show. So if you like to get a little weird and you F with that, come on down. I'll talk your ear off. Great Kingdom Hearts Guiding Keys playlist, 47 hours long. Great for a road trip. Great road trip binge if you can tolerate that. So, but yeah, no. Before I pass back over to you guys, I just want to say thank you guys both so much for having me on Remember 64. This is one of my favorite shows. This should have happened way sooner. Dang baby being born for taking away podcast time. But
hey man, I hear you.
It's like Dave is in the same boat.
Exactly. 7 months. 7 months without turning my mic on at all. So
definitely have to do this again. I'll have to look for an excuse for something that I can get you guys over on Unlockables, and we can talk about something for sure.
Yeah, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it. More games, obviously tons of games here too, so we'll have you back. That is going to happen whether people like it or not. It's going to happen.
Whether I like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, Eric, is going to, whether I like it or not, it's happening. Jiggy, what about
showed
you?
Up my house and threatened me, so.
Yeah. All I have to do is look for the Pokeballs that are behind you. I'll know exactly which house it is. Peering through windows in your neighborhood, which one is it?
Just be careful. It's unincorporated Indiana, so I'm not sure.
Oh shit! Okay. So. Here in Canada, I don't really have to worry about that so much. So.
Yeah, it can be dangerous looking into houses here.
Don't worry about anything in Canada.
I'm good. I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. Unless you guys have something to do with it, I have nothing to worry about. So
yeah, pretty much.
We'll fuck it up somehow. Apologies in advance.
Some way, somehow. Jiggy, you are kicking ass and taking names with some new stuff going on. What's happening?
Oh yeah. Well, we just finished Dinosaur Planet, the N64 prototype of Star Fox Adventures, on live stream, and that was pretty fun. And now I'm gonna do a full video on that one, so that's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Just talking about my experience with the whole Dynamod enhanced version and what I learned from the community and like just going over it, you know, and I got a few other things cooking. I got a fancy new controller for my Switch that
Ooh.
I will be reviewing. A company sent out to me. I love the RGB on it. That's just my first take.
That's
I've had
crazy.
it for about
That's crazy. It looks so cool.
I know, right? I've had it for about 2 hours, and that's all I've taken from that so far. I just really like
Just
the
staring
RGB.
at it like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm just like, wow, this is really like really good looking.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, just grinding. Otherwise, playing
Nice.
some N64 games here and there.
Yeah, man. Of course.
I have a billion games, and I go back to the N64 every
Yeah.
day.
I know this.
I just dropped a subscribe, so I'll look forward to that video.
Oh,
Boom.
cool.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Real time, people. You guys do it too. Find Unlockables, find Jiggy Look Back on YouTube as well. You can find us on YouTube. I'm gonna start doing a little bit more streaming every once in a while,
Yeah,
as
he
long
is.
as the kid is falling asleep when he's supposed
Hell
to.
yeah.
Not trying to climb out of his crib like he's not supposed to. I'm
Oh my
going to
gosh, you know what you need to have?
Yeah.
You need to have a like a baby cam where it just shows him like in the thing.
Yeah, in the
And like
corner.
every once in a while you just like or like it's a I don't know, it's like a challenge or something, like see how long we can go without waking the baby or how intense something gets.
I have the iPad literally sitting right beside me because it's my turn or my time to watch him at the moment this evening. He hasn't really moved tonight. He's been pretty good. He was a hassle to put down. He's teething. It's tricky. It would be a challenge if it was later in the evening. If it was close to midnight when he tends to fuss a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'd be a whole lot of gaming happening. So I got to do it slightly earlier in the night. So
when you stream, you just do your face cam and underneath that baby cam.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If the wife approves, I'll do it. Yeah. Every time he moves, I gotta run. You know. Yeah. So I'm trying to stream maybe once a week, once every couple weeks. I'm just trying to figure out some of the technical kinks that really I haven't had time to kind of work through. And at least a year from now, a year ago, was the last time I pretty much did it. I'll play some games that we're going to be playing upcoming on the show. As of this recording or as of the release of this episode, you may or may not have Paperboy on your podcast app as well. I'm going to be trying to stream that. If I haven't by the time you hear this, you can also watch the VOD if it's already done. But I'm going to try and do things like that. Try and play some new games that are on my backlog, things like that, and every once in a while. So that can be found on YouTube. I'm going to try and co-stream on Twitch. I don't know if I can do that or not. I'm going to just try and get as many eyeballs on things as I can. I'm being very ambitious. Often when I do that, things crumble around me, but I'm going to try. So Remember 64 Show is where you can find everything. Remember-64 on YouTube. And support the show, patreon.com/remember64 show as well. Just for $1 a month, you can get stuff early. You can get pre-show chats, which we had for this episode as well. And you can help us pick an upcoming game. I have polls up there now to anyone that is a patron that can help me decide to play, decide which game to play and review that is not from the N64 and on my backlog. And I'll have sort of a short video of that and have some of my gameplay and stuff. So lots of ideas happening. I'm going to try and make them as possible as possible. I'm just going to try and make them happen. I'm going to do my best.
It's very Willy Wonka of you.
Yeah, I'm very Willy Wonka. Yeah.
And you know what? You got to drop a like and rate the podcast.
Indeed.
Because you just have to do that.
Just
That's
do it. Just do it. All the other stuff I said, you can do it if you want. But the thing Jiggy said, which is, of course, as always, the very easy stuff that I forget to say at the top of the show, I say now, and that's what I want everybody to do. Same thing for the Unlockables. Same thing for Jiggy's YouTube channel as well. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Go play some Pokemon, and we'll talk to you soon.
I choose you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess I choose you. I don't know. You're kind of cool, I guess.